Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You might have heard the end of that. All right. Hi, I am Adam, and thank you for joining me for this week's development Q&A, development update, and community Q&A session. I said it right the first time, but I was muted. So thank you for joining me this week. We have so many fun things going on here at Demiplane, and I almost said earlier the Demiplane offices, but then I realized that most of the team is remote. We do have some really cool offices, though. If you're ever up in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, and you want to have a tour, I can't promise anything, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, especially if you're a Packers fan, because we definitely are right in the thick of everything going on with the Green Bay Packers up there in Titletown. But neither here nor there. We've got an update this week, and as always, we are going to take a look at those latest updates. We're going to look at what is upcoming, and then we are going to get to as many questions as I can in our 30-minute time limit here. And so if you have those questions, go ahead and ask them. We have a magical thing that crawls chat and finds those questions, and I will be able to get to those at the end of the show. So I haven't seen any come through yet, but you can start asking right now. So if something just in the middle of the update strikes you, then you should go in there and type that question, and I'll get to it at the end. All right, let's jump into latest updates. So we are live with Game Compendium primers. This is for classes, ancestries, and archetypes for Pathfinder, and they are really, really slick. They are very, very useful. We've been using them for a little while in our own games, and so we are really excited that we were able to get that out to everyone last week. No, time is a construct, and I am all over the place these last few days. We got it out yesterday, and so if you haven't had a chance to go check that out, I'm going to show it off here in just a moment. But also you can check it out, pathfindernexus.com, and this is where you're going to find aggregated information for all the classes. So any of the game mechanics for the barbarian that are going to show up in later books that are released, all of that is going to be in one place. So we really are trying to create that place where if you are a swashbuckler fan, which I am, you can find out everything that you need to know about the swashbuckler all in one place. Same thing for archetypes, same thing for ancestries and versatile heritages. So that is live. We'll take a look in a moment. But then we are also working on adventures content. So lots of ground to cover here. So just as much, if not more, content than what we have just done with Lost Omens, where we have released all of those books in the last couple of weeks. There, we are starting on adventures content, and right now the plan for that is to release them as we have them completed. And so we will provide an update if that changes. But right now, once we have them completed, we think that they're good to go and for people to start using in early access, we will release those and tell you about it when they do launch. And so keep you posted on all the adventures content. We are starting with the one-shots because a little bit of low-hanging fruit, but also just trying to make sure that we are getting our feet wet on adventures and getting everything set up properly. But we're going to move into standalone and then adventure paths. So again, working through that content as quickly as we can, starting this week. And then Children of Erte, that's how you say that word at the bottom of the screen there. But Children of Erte is a new live stream, actual play 5th edition show that we announced last week. I was joined by the incredible Deborah Ann Wall. She is going to be our game master and storyteller for Children of Erte. And this is actually a world that is her creation. And so this is something that, just like so many of us who have played and ran these games for years and years, we come up with, different types of campaign settings that we like. We tend to do a lot of creation. And this is one of the places where Deborah has created all of this. and we are going to see it unfold on the screen together. So, really, genuinely cannot wait for the show. That is going to air like so next week. We're going to have an episode 0. So this is like a session 0, except instead of talking through what the expectations are amongst the players and the game master and getting everything aligned, this is going to be Deborah's chance to talk to the audience and talk about aligning expectations with the audience. So check that out next Tuesday, March the 8th at 6 p.m. Pacific. I had to do time zone conversion in my head there. And then we will have the first episode in the premiere the following week on the Ides of March. So that is going to be a blast. And I hope that you're going to join us for it. Cannot wait for it to happen. Also, latest update is we do have our Strixhaven Chaos live stream finale tonight. So we've been playing through as students at Strixhaven. Can't wait to see what happens in this finale here. And you can find out tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific as well. All right, let's look at these primers. So let's jump into primers. And I'm going to see if I can actually click the right screen. I think I did. So we are going to look at primers now. And you can find everything in the game compendium in the game rules menu. So in this game rules menu, we have classes that are listed here. So as we're in early access, this is also one of the places where we can use feedback. So we are making our best cut at how menus should be structured. We have ideas for menus way down the road of possibly being able to customize that to some degree, and again that's way down the road, but we're trying to make sure that these are as helpful as they can be. And so our early data has indicated that classes are going to be the thing that people are going to dig into the most, so they're expanded here in this menu. But again, if you have feedback, if you have experiences, especially real use cases as you're out there in the line at the supermarket reading about Pathfinder, game mechanics or whatever that is, let us know about that. Let us know if the menu is doing right by you. But this is where we can click into any of these classes. We'll take the Alchemist for now. And our Alchemist is going to display all of the information about playing an Alchemist here in one place. And so I guess, I probably shouldn't just simply scroll through this, because that's something that you can, do for yourself. This is one of my favorite pieces of art in the entire game. There is something about this entire situation that, that really, maybe it shouldn't, but it brings a huge smile to my face every time I see it. And by shouldn't, I mean, it is like someone that is under the influence of something, throwing a lot of bombs and setting a lot of things on fire. But it is a really, really fun illustration. Love seeing that one. So you have all of this information. One of the key things with these primers is that we have a feats listing component, and in some of the classes where it's applicable, we have a spells listing component that pulls in here. And what this is going to do is, as we move forward and we add more elements into the compendium itself, so if there are new alchemist feats in upcoming products, as those get added, that will automatically pull in here for these primers. And so you can see all of the alchemist feats, etc., here in one place. And so all of this is just a really handy way to have all the information about your favorite classes, ancestries, archetypes, etc., in one place. And so we can look at heritages here. This is going to take us to our versatile heritages section. And so this is also where you can look at everybody loves a changeling. I know that I love a changeling. And so we've got, the beautiful full color artwork that we have listed here, and everything about a changeling with all the feats, again, aggregated in one place. And then finally, I will show off definitely one of my favorites, which is going to be an archetype that is the Acrobat. And I just like this one because the artwork has someone hanging upside down from I mean, this looks like a trapeze. I don't know what the word for that is. It's like part of the trapeze thing. Is it like a trapeze bar? I don't know what that word would be. But this acrobat is hanging from her legs, and she has a dagger out about to do something with it. And so they are doing something on the trapeze, presumably during a performance, practicing for a performance. I don't know what this person is doing, but whatever they're doing, they are ready and they are in combat, engaged in combat, or at least some performance of combat maneuvers while in that. And so I love the acrobat, and we've got all of the feats as you would expect to see, of course, with that archetype. So this is the game compendium, and of course we have the other elements here that we have previously talked about: spells, items, and all of that. And so this game compendium, from this the standpoint of launch readiness, the types of features here are what you would expect to see as we prep for launch here with Pathfinder Nexus. We will, over time, add some other types of elements into the game compendium, and some of those are going to be things like actions. They're going to be some things like conditions. Those might look a little bit different as we start incorporating that into the compendium, but these are the big heavy lift parts of what's going into the game compendium, and we'll continue to add things and iterate on that as we go. All right, let's jump back into the rest of this. And so, upcoming, the early access phases. So looking at this, I told you my completely arbitrary color coding the other day. I might just put a key on here at some point, because that would probably be easier than me having to explain it each week. But anything that is shown in green here is something that is out and available and ready, and then anything in the gold color is something that we are working on. And so, as you can see, we have the adventures piece of that we're working on as far as getting the content available in the digital reader. That would also apply to any of the game elements that are in the adventures content. All of that's going to be coming to the game compendium. And then finally, for character management, this is the part, and this is all expectation alignment. So I'm telling everyone who is watching today that this is also the part where you are going to potentially perceive that things are slowing down for Pathfinder Nexus. And this is why I want to talk to you about this, because I can assure you that things are not slowing down. In fact, we are seeing some gains each and every week with how fast the development and the velocity that we're going at is increasing. But now that we are taking on the character management piece, which is the biggest piece of what we have been doing so far, getting ready for the launch of Pathfinder Nexus, that means that I'm not going to be coming in here next week and telling you, hey, this new thing is released, because many of those things that we are working on, even though we're still working just as fast, we're still working hard, the team is doing an incredible job, those things are not going to be ready for prime time. And prime time, I'm defining as ready for your eyes out there as fans. It won't be ready for a little while longer. So, again, I have found over the course of my life that most, disappointment and most issues out there in the world today come from a misalignment of expectations. And so I am doing my best right now to tell you that, hey, again, there might be a perceived slowing down here, because we're not going to be able to tell you, hey, this thing is releasing. We're going to have some quality of life updates, those kind of things. But I want you to know, and I want you to trust me, that the team is working really hard on this. We are terribly excited about what's going on with character management. And we are going to, as we go into the next few weeks, you might start seeing some early looks at some of the character pieces where we can start to get some of your feedback even as we're developing it. So that's that portion of the talk. Hopefully you're going to take it to heart. And I feel like, we're going to be here in another couple of weeks, and maybe some of you aren't going to take that to heart, and that's okay too. We love you all, and we are going to be doing everything that we can to make this an incredible resource for Pathfinder players out there. But excited as we're really starting to get into character management now. All the pieces of the foundation are in place with the digital reader and the game compendium, and really can't wait to see what happens with character management. So more on that soon. And then finally, the team is also working on creating a new Nexus that, unfortunately we can't even talk about yet, but we are going to have more news on that soon. And so that is something else that the team is doing. But as I've explained before, the great thing about this is the way that we have set up our digital reader, our game compendium, all of those things are built at a platform level, and they are intended for rapid iteration into other types of games. And so you are going to start to see digital reader and game compendium style things start to come online for some of these other great games that we've announced, and some of them that we haven't announced yet. All of that is going to be happening on the Demiplane Nexus platform, and so we're going to have more on that soon. But mainly adding it here, not to be just a really frustrating tease to anyone, but mainly saying that there are many different members of the team now who are going to start because they're members of the team focused on content, members of the team focused on what's going on with these game elements. They're going to be able to start working on some of these other games because we've set things up for that kind of growth and for that kind of coverage of some of the best games out there in the world. So that is also something that is on the way. I think it is time for questions. So let's see if I can find the window that actually has said questions. Here we go. I've got a couple of these coming in. If you have other questions, by all means, ask them now. Preface it with question, and I will get to it. It looks like we've got 10 minutes or so plenty of time to get your question answered if you have them. So first of all, from Rex Verity, did you ever look at the number of hours logged by users on the apps you've made and think about how many hours of fun you and your team have helped people to share? Yeah, it's really genuinely, sometimes you see people in interviews say this kind of thing, and they'll say it's humbling, and I don't know, sometimes I guess because humanity's pretty skeptical these days, we don't maybe take them for their word when they say things like that. And so I really don't mean for this to sound trite, but it is humbling to think about just the fact that playing these games for several decades like I have, playing around when I was a teenager and thinking to myself, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, and all of those things, starting to see them come to some kind of reality, and helping people play out there, and really just helping people connect with these games that we all love so much. It really is humbling, and it's incredible to think about being able to participate in that. And I really am just incredibly thrilled. I couldn't have a better life, and of course, what goes on in my job is a big part of that. So it is humbling. No triteness, intended with me saying that. And what excites me even more is it's you ain't seen nothing yet. Like there's so much more coming, and I can't wait to unveil everything that we have in store. I can't wait for you to get your eyes on character management for Pathfinder Nexus and all of the other games and the excitement that we have. This is something that I genuinely love to do, and I genuinely love working with people on a team that love to do this. And so we talk about that, we work hard, but we also play hard. And in a job like what we have, so much of the time, there's a lot of overlap there. and it really is. We are just so fortunate and to be able to do what we do, and fans and players out there are what make that possible. So thank you, and it is incredible to think about just how far this hobby has come, and how storytelling changes the world, and how this game, because of its focus on storytelling, all of these games, that storytelling is something that in turn changes the world. And so it's incredible to be a part of that. Very long-winded answer, but thank you for the question. H2OSW, is there a plan to have Pathfinder one-shots available? Yeah, I do think that I talked about that a little earlier. We absolutely have a plan for those one-shots to be available. Right now, one-shots are going to be the thing that we release first on adventures, and then we are going to be jumping into standalone adventures after that. And then adventure paths are going to be a little harder just because there's more content there. So those will be at the end. But the intent is for us to catch up on all of those places where, as new things are released for Pathfinder, we're going to be able to put all those things in place. All right, ask questions if you've got them. I've got one more right now here. So Anchor 89, will I be able to set a bookmark in a book and return to that bookmark later? Yes, at some point. Bookmarks are absolutely on the list. It's something that we will be adding. We have performed the setup. In a past life, there was a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth when it came to potentially getting. Hold on one second. Got a frog in my throat. Frog, not an actual frog. All right, there we go. I think we're okay now. But it was a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth when it came to trying to figure out how bookmarks would work. But as we have entered this, our platform has cordoned off the information in a way that will make bookmarking much, much easier when we are able to get to it. So it's just one of those things that we haven't been able to get to, but we fully intend to get there. All right. It looks like that is, somebody snuck in one more question. So I'm going to answer this one. And if there are no more questions, we're going to close out today. But so if you've got questions, ask them. Rex Verity, could some of these questions about the app get added to the FAQ on the site or the forums for reference? Yes, that is something that we can absolutely do at some point. The problem with that right now is I've got to find a person that can do that, and so we got a very busy team right now. We are still a very small team, and so some of that maintenance is something that if we jump into that, it is a great idea, and it is something that we absolutely would like to do and should do, but we've got to kind of prioritize and see what we can do with the bandwidth that we have, because we don't want things to be unreasonable for our team members. So in that question, the answer is yes, we want that to happen. And the other part of the answer is I've got to figure out who and how on that. And that is not something that we've been able to do yet. But it is something we would like to do, and we'll keep you posted on if and when we are able to. All right. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, and sold to me getting on with the rest of my day. And I hope as you get on with the rest of your day, that it is a wonderful one, whatever part of the world you're in right now. I hope you have an incredible breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Drink lots of water. Maybe go out and take a walk, especially if you're in a place that has nicer weather than I have right now. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week. Catch you tonight for Strixhaven Chaos, the finale of that 8-part series. And I will see you here next week for the next dev update. Later, Gators.